Hi everyone, I am Chris. This is Simply Classic. We have a lot of cool stuff to talk about today. So in today's live, we're going to be talking specifically about our new online class. It is called Leather Bag Making by Machine. And we're going to go over all of the specifics of the class. We're going to show you the bag. We're going to show you the kit colors. We're going to talk about how much the class is going to be. We're going to tell you the actual dates for the class and answer any and all questions that you may have. So I see that Roxanne is here, and Roxanne, congratulations to you. You just won the quarterly mystery subscription box. So yay, fantastic. And Cheryl's here. Hello, Cheryl. Stephanie and Muriel, Juanita, very good. We're glad everybody's here. So this video, of course, will be available on YouTube after we are done tonight. So if you don't want to refer back to it, you can certainly do that. And as always, you can email me with questions, and we'll have information on our website as well. Okay, so we are starting this online course called Leather Bag Making by Machine. And it is a first tier course. And basically what that means is that it is going to be kind of a basic bag. If you have never worked with leather before and you want to try, this is the perfect class for you. Or if you've been a little intimidated, this is the perfect class for you. Every time we go to shows, we have our leather, and people say to me, oh, you know, I'm not good enough for leather yet, or I'm not ready for leather yet, or maybe one day I can do leather. I'm here to tell you, you can do leather, okay? And this class is designed to show you that you can, in fact, do leather. So the class is going to include 6 pre-recorded sessions. So we've already recorded them, they've been edited, we're ready to go on those. We're also going to have 3 Zoom meetings. So I want to kind of go over the way that the class is going to work. It's going to be over a 10-day period. And it's a self-paced class, but at the same time, the idea is we want you to kind of keep up with it and participate in the Zoom meetings. And honestly, even if you are not kept up with the bag, you know, if you're a little behind, if you fall behind, we want you to still participate in the Zoom meetings because you might have questions. Other people might have a question. You thought, oh, I never thought of that. You know, that's great. I'm glad I'm here to learn that. So the way they're going to work is the class is again over a 10-day period, and it's always going to start on a Friday. So you're going to have on Friday the very first lesson released. Let me find my schedule. Here we go. Okay, so lesson 1 will be released on Friday evenings or sometime Friday. Saturday morning, we're going to have our first Zoom meeting. And the Zoom meeting is going to be with all the participants in the class. After our Zoom meeting, we're going to release lesson 2. Okay. Then on Monday, we're going to release lesson 3. Tuesday evening, we're going to have our second Zoom meeting. So at that point, we're about halfway through. You've cut out your pattern, you have glued your stiffeners, you have, you know, done some of the, pretty much all the prep work should be done at that point. And that is the point before you actually sit down and start sewing. So we want to have a Zoom meeting then, just in case you have any questions. So Wednesday evening will be the release of video or lesson 4. The 5th lesson will be released on Friday. Sunday will be lesson 6. And then Monday evening will be our final Zoom meeting. And by that time, hopefully you have your bag completed and we can talk about any problems that you may have had, or if you get stuck and you can't quite finish, that's going to be a great time to participate in that Zoom meeting and we can answer questions. Okay? So that's going to be a breakdown of how the class is going to work. Now let's talk about what is included in the class besides the Zoom meetings and the pre-recorded videos. You are going to get a kit. The kit's automatically included. And it is going to include a lot, okay? We want to make sure you have as much that we can provide you as possible so that you're a success at this bag. So let's talk about what the kit includes. You're going to, of course, get the pattern, and we're going to have the pattern is kind of a abbreviated pattern. If you've purchased my patterns before, you know my patterns are very detailed. There's like a picture for every single step of the way. This is abbreviated because we really want you to watch the videos and watch the lessons and learn from that and refer back to that. However, we put the pattern together in case you want to make the bag again. And it's just a quick way that you can go back and look at it and remember, oh, what was in this step or what was in that step? What do I need to do? And it's just going to give you a quick rundown. Now, you're always going to have access to the videos. So once you purchase the class, you're going to have a username and a password where you're going to be able to get into the class. And if you end up buying multiple classes from us, they'll all be in your dashboard. And you can go back and rewatch the lessons at any time. Okay. So again, you're going to get the pattern. We're going to have 2 different versions of pattern pieces. You can either get the print at home, download the print at home version, which of course you print at home and you match the pieces because some of the pieces are fairly large. Or you can do the large scale pattern piece. So we're going to have a file included in the class. You'll be able to take and put it on a thumb drive, take it to like Federal Express or Staples and have it printed on the big 36-inch wide paper. And what that's going to do for you is prevent you from having to tape all those pieces together and just save you a step. Also, pattern pieces typically that are large scale like that are a lot more accurate. So if you can do that, I recommend you do, but of course there's going to be a little bit of cost to it. Usually it costs me like under $10 to print one of those large scale papers. Okay, in addition, you're going to have all of your bag stiffeners. So in leather making, instead of stabilizer, a lot of times they're referred to as stiffeners. So this is where you're going to be into new territory because we're going to talk about, and you're going to have in your kit things like Salpa and Brio and Saba and Belladon and things you have never heard of before. And that's okay. We're going to walk you through every step. We're going to show you how to glue these pieces. A couple of them are peel and stick type deal, but for the most part, most of it needs to be glued, and we'll take you through that process. You're also going to have lining, of course, linen lining, and some interfacing for the linen. You're going to get all the hardware. You're going to get some leather glue. So there are a couple of different kinds of glues that you can use in leather bag making. You have what sometimes you hear as leather cement and leather glues. We're going to use a water-based glue, so you don't have to worry about fumes or anything. And you're going to get it in a small cup. You're also going to get glue applicators. We have a couple applicators for you. You're going to get some base coat and edge paint, as well as the applicators for that. Small piece of sandpaper. You're going to get a glue stick, silver marking pen with some refills, and a 1x8-inch Simply Plastic ruler. So all that's included in the kit. Okay. So let's talk about other things you're going to, and all this will be on the website. You can go back, you can refer to it. We have right now just a little blurb about it's coming. Just kind of visit that page often, and it's going to give you all this information. Okay. A couple things that you are going to need that we don't provide. And number one is thread. And the reason why is because we don't know what kind of machine you have. We don't know what kind of thread works with your machine. So we did not provide thread. We're going to get into sewing machines in just a second. You're also going to need a craft knife. And keep in mind that we do have our Zoid craft knives, that if you don't have one, you can go ahead and get one from the Simply Classic site. You're also going to need some Scotch tape. You're going to need some double-sided tape, and I recommend like 1/4 inch and 1/2 inch for that. You're going to need a sewing awl, which we have a few of those on the side as well. And then standard things like a rotary cutter and a cutting mat and rulers, that type of thing. things you probably already have. You're going to need rivets and some way to set the rivets. Now, there's not a lot of rivets in the bag. And actually, you could bypass the rivets totally. But I used, I think, a total of maybe 4 or 5 8mm rivets. So you'll have, if you'd like to, it's just mostly to stabilize pockets and things like that. You can certainly get the rivets. Leather hole punch. You're going to need a leather roller. And that is that kind of heavyweight metal thing that you use to roll out the leather. You're going to, once we glue it, you're going to want to roll and make sure the glue's adhered. So you can definitely need one of those. You're going to need, of course, some scissors. And we, of course, have a lot of tie scissors that we love and recommend. And my favorite ones are the tie 7230s. These are fantastic. And of course, we sell them on the website. So if you're not sure on what to use for scissors, I highly recommend these. You're also going to need like a damp cloth, of course, a sewing machine, some kind of iron or heat press. You're going to need some poster board. You're going to need some kind of protective surface for when you glue. You don't want to get glue everywhere, or edge paint. And then, of course, computer, printer, access to Zoom meetings, that type of thing. So a lot of these things are standard things you probably already have in your workroom, and you don't need to run out and buy. Hopefully, you've got all of them. Okay, so let's talk about what kind of machine you need. We recommend that you have, we're just going to put it out there, an industrial machine. Now, the leather we're using is a 2-ounce lambskin, so it is thin. There's no skiving needed. I've never skived. You're going to be fine as far as not having to worry about that. Some of the higher end domestic machines you'll be fine with. So if you have like a Janome HD9 or the Juki TL18, some of those semi-industrial machines, you can be fine. If you have some of the higher end Bernina machines, you're going to be fine. So when we were in Puyallup, I borrowed a Bernina machine from one of the local shops while we were there. And it was a 5320 maybe, something like that. And we were sewing with the leather, no problem. Where the only time we had a problem is when we had side seam, like an interior and exterior seam meet, like at the upper lining. We sewed, no problem. But when we turned to top stitch, that's where we had the problem. But this bag does not have any of that. And I'll go over the bag in just a minute and show you that you don't have to worry about that. So, we can't guarantee your machine is going to sew the leather because we don't know what kind of machine you have. If you can sew, if your machine can sew, 3 or 4 layers of faux ostrich, you're going to be fine. You won't have any problems. But again, this bag was designed so you didn't have intersecting seams, and all the bulk was kept to a minimum. Okay, so just kind of keep that in mind. Okay. So that's kind of a rough overview and a rough run. And I know it's a lot of information. We're going to look at the bag, and then I'm going to tell you how and when our classes are going to be. Okay. So let's go over that first, and then we're going to answer questions. So if you have any questions as I'm talking, go ahead and type them in the comments. Taylor's here to help me. She's going to make sure that I see the question when the time comes for questions, and we'll make sure all your questions are answered. All right, let's take a look at the back. So this, and we have several different color options. This here is the back. It is a very kind of basic back. Okay? There's not a lot of, there's no zippers on the top. It's a bucket back style. Okay, we have a closure up here at the top to hold it together. Gives it kind of a feminine shape. The thing that is what I like about it so much is we have these kind of knotted sides here. And behind that, we have some decorative leather. Now, when I say decorative, this is suede. I have suede on another one I'm going to show you in just a minute. But most of the kits we have, this is going to be hair on hide. And I will show you the colors of the kits and the hair on hide shortly. Okay. So you have a decorative band down here. You have this really cute knot. The strap is somewhat adjustable. We have about 3 holes on each side where you can adjust the bag. The back is plain. The front is plain. Again, this is, you know, a beginner bag, what I would say confident beginner. The top, again, closes with a little D-ring and swivel clasp. On the inside, we have a slip pocket here on one side. We have, of course, our zipper pocket on the other side. We have our key fob, which, of course, we need that. And then on the bottom, we have purse feet. Okay. So it is that. So this is the olive green color. And the olive green is going to come with a suede piece for the accent stripe. Okay. The other colors we have, we're going to run through those. This here is the, I think we're calling it brown.
Golden brown.
Golden brown,
Golden
maybe?
brown.
Golden brown. And this one comes with 2 different options for the accent stripe. This one is suede. I'm going to kind of bring this up so you can see that stripe. But we also have a hair on hide option for this color. Okay. So let me show you. These are the 2 bags we have completed. Our testers are in the process of completing the hair on hide options. So as soon as we have those, we're going to show you the completed bags, but I want to show you the hair on hide, and I want to show you the other options we have for colors. So the first one is a, well, let me show you the chestnut, or the brown, I guess we're calling it. This is the brown hair on hide. I'm going to try to come up close so you can kind of see. It's kind of a short hair, but it is hair on hide. And then it's going to go with this leather here. Okay. So look at how nice and rich that looks. It's so pretty. It's really going to make a beautiful accent stripe down the side. And then we have a light blue. The name of this bag, sorry about that, is the Banda bag. Because I should have told you that first, huh? So the Banda bag, because of course we have this band going right down the side here. And let me tell you too, the inspiration for this bag came from, in Italy, they had these open air markets, and we were in Florence, and we were walking around, and I saw a bag that had this kind of stripe down the side. And actually, I think I have a picture of it right here. Hold on just a minute. Let me show you. All I have is one picture of this backpack. And you can see how it had that stripe, and it had the knot, you know, kind of a knot here, and it came down. So it's kind of where the inspiration came from. They had, of course, in different colors, hot pink and brown and orange. But it was just, it really caught my eye. It was a simple bag, nothing super hard, but super trendy and just super cute. So anyway, I had to do it. What I didn't like, though, is the way that this came down below the bag, because I felt like every time you set your bag down, that was going to be dragging on whatever it is. If it was on the floor, on the table, it was going to be hitting it. You could certainly extend these and, you know, make it so that it is longer. That's totally up to you. But I do recommend that you run through it first, the first time as we have it, and then you can make changes to it after. Okay. All right. So we have, okay, the 2 colors we just talked about, the olive green with the suede. We've got the brown with the suede and the brown with the hair on hide. Then we have this light blue color. This is the leather. And the hair on hide that goes with it is this light blue hair on hide color. So the hair on hides are so rich in their colors. It's really, let me do this right. There you go. You can kind of see how pretty that is. So So of course the leather, and then this really so pretty hair on. Whoops, I like petting it. Hair on hide. Okay. So that's going to be the light blue. Then we have this down. We have this hot pink hide, and we have this hot pink hair on hide. And look at how vibrant that is. So that's going to be another option, color option. And then we have, and this is going to be gorgeous. Of course, black. Black is black, right? But when you put some hair on hide with black, it just riches that up. Look at how pretty that is. If I move back, the lights. Ooh, see how it kind of shines? Oh, it's so pretty. It is just gorgeous. Okay, so those are the color options. Now, let's talk about the class itself, when we're going to have them, and how many students we're going to have per class. So, of course, this is a virtual class. We're going to have 15 students per class, and we're planning on giving this class 3 times in the next 3 months. Okay. The dates, and again, we're going to have this on our website, but the first class is going to be from Friday, July 26th through Monday, August 5th. The second class is going to be from Friday, August 16th to Monday, August 26th. And then the third class is going to be from Friday, September 13th to Monday, September 23rd. Okay. October, I'm booked. I have got virtual classes. I have got in-person classes. I'm going to be gone for most of the month. It's going to be a tough month for me. So we're not going to have a class in October. And then November and December, you know, it's the holidays and you really, you know, it's hard to do classes. So we're not going to do them in November and December. But we will resume in January. So if you want to take the class, and maybe right now it's just not a good time for you, don't worry. We're going to keep doing these classes, and then we're just going to add on. So again, the Banda bags, kind of the first step, confident beginner. We already have bags. You guys send me so many bags. I love it. The inspiration is amazing. So we already have bags in mind for the second class, third class. I mean, we're just going to keep on going. We're super excited about this. Okay. Now, you will be able to order or register for these classes on July 1st. And so on July 1st, all of these classes I just mentioned for July, August, and September will open up, and you can register for whichever one you'd like and whatever color of bag you would like. Okay. Now, if by chance we run out of hair on hide or suede, then what we're going to do is we're going to use the back side of the leather as the suede. Because as most of you know, when you work with leather, you've got this nice kind of shiny side, the right side. But then on the back, you have kind of a suede looking. And the greatest thing is that it matches, right? Because it's the same leather hide. So worst case scenario, we will use the back side of the hides as accent, okay? Until we can come across some more cool hair on hide or whatever, you know, whatever we can find. All right, so let's see what else we have here. I think I've covered everything that I can think of. So let's look at what kind of questions that you have. Okay, so Stephanie asks, what size thread? Sorry if I'm asking too soon. I know you said get it. No problem. Okay, so on a industrial machine, you want to use a Tech 70 thread. Now, we have we have threads that we're going to recommend that you get for all the different color options. So when you register and you register for the blue, we're going to tell you the thread color to get. The thread colors are Amann, A-M-A-N-N, Amann bonded nylon thread. And you can get it from Sunny Sewing Machines. Also, Waywack has some Tex 45 if you're using a domestic machine, okay? But you probably aren't going to get the exact color match if you have a domestic machine. You're going to have to do the best you can. So just kind of, and you don't have to use the exact same thread color. You can use contrasting. Like for instance, on this back here, I used a contrasting thread color, and I also used a contrasting edge paint. But in your kit, you're going to get colors to match this. Okay, so let me kind of pull that up so maybe you can see that. It's kind of a cream colored or khaki colored thread and khaki colored edge paint. Now, one thing I forgot to mention is that you're going to get these little D-rings to serve as keepers for your handle. It's just kind of a little touch, so you don't have to make a keeper. Again, we're trying to keep this bag as beginner friendly as possible. You have little roller buckles here that adjust your strap. Okay. So Cheryl asks, what size is the Banda bag? It is, you know what, I don't have the pattern here in front of me. Great question. Here, I'll do a quick little, it is about 8.5 inches wide by about 8 inches tall, and it is 5 inches deep. So almost like a big square, but not exactly. And let me talk to you too about this seam deal that I wanted to say that makes it kind of easier. So on the inside, you have, of course, an upper lining, and the upper lining joins here so that you have a side seam. But on the bag, on the exterior of the bag, you do not have an intersecting side seam because you have your accent strip here. So your seams on the exterior of the bag are here and here. So therefore, you don't have a side seam on the exterior intersecting a side seam on the interior to create a whole lot of bulk right here. The bulk here is from the strap connector, which is basically 2 layers of very thin leather with no stabilizer in between, and you're just sewing it to the upper lining of the bag, to the exterior and the upper lining. So it's really not that thick. If you do have any problems, this might be where it is, and then I would suggest you put a rivet there instead of sewing. But the bag was designed so that there was no intersecting seams, so you could probably do or use it with some kind of domestic machine without too much problem. Okay. Okay, so and I'm sorry I don't know your first name. H. Lobbin says the Juki TL series can handle the Tex 70 thread. Just learn that, okay? And probably what I would say is if your machine can handle a Tex 70, you're probably gonna be fine with this bag. I don't think you're gonna have any problems with the bag itself. So Melanie says I have a Tex 30 thread. Is that okay?
60.
Oh, I'm sorry, Tex 60 thread. Is that okay? And the answer is yes, no problem. Because if it's a domestic, you can go as low as like a Tex 45 and you'll be fine. I have a cylinder arm. Can I use a Tex 45? Yes, you will be able to use a Tex 45 with this. Absolutely. Okay, so a couple questions. Are the hides available outside of the kits or only in the kit? Will we learn techniques to apply to a bag not designed for leather? Okay, so the kits or the hides are not available outside the kits. We are only going to offer them in the kits. And yes, there are some techniques in this bag that you are going to learn that only applies to leather. Some of it's overlap, some of it is the same, like the lining's pretty much, the same. But as far as the gluing of the stiffeners, the actual stiffeners themselves. We're going to do a little bit of different sewing when we actually sew the exterior together. We're not necessarily going to do right sides together and all that. So you are going to find some different things there. Another thing I want to tell you is this pattern will never be for sale outside of this class. So we will not offer it other than in the Banda bag class. So Kristen said, would you consider doing an intermediate or advanced class in the future? Yes, that is absolutely our intent, but we wanted to start with something basic, a little more basic, so that people who have never dealt with leather or a little intimidated by using leather, we can get them comfortable with it, and then we're going to expand and we're going to do much more involved bags. Yes, absolutely. Deb asks, is it a drop in lining? No, it's not. You could do a drop in lining, but it is not, the pattern is not written as a drop in lining. That's a good question. Evelyn asks, where are you located at? I'm in Georgia. And of course, this is a virtual class, so we are Eastern time. When we schedule the Zoom meetings, we're going to make sure that we accommodate for, as far as the West Coast. So if you're in California and you take the class, don't worry, we're not going to have the Zoom meeting at, 5 o'clock in the morning, so you have to get up at midnight, anything like that. We're going to make sure that we accommodate so that, and it's probably going to be an early morning class, like maybe 8 or 9 o'clock, but it's not going to be super, super early. So Kimberly's asking, is there a cost? Oh yeah, I need to tell you that, right? Sorry. So the class is $350. And again, it includes the videos, the Zoom meetings, and the kit. Kit's automatic with it. That's like the most important thing. I'm so excited about the class. I'm going to say the cost. Sorry about that. Will the kits include lining and interfacing? Yes, Brenda asked that. Yes, they do. They include the woven interfacing for the linen, and they're also going to include the stiffeners, because we're not going to use Decaville and all that. We're going to use actual leather stiffeners for the back, and the bottom. Can you use a heavier thread? I use Tex 135. Is that too much? Yeah, I think it is probably going to be a little bit too much because this leather is really thin, and you don't want, like for instance, when I use it on my domestic machine, I can't use the biggest leather needle there is. I have to use a smaller leather needle because the holes are too big. So I would say Tex 35 probably is a little bit too much. You can probably go up to like a 90, but I wouldn't probably go beyond that. And on my industrial machine, I'm using a size 18 needle. You can probably use a 16 if you have a 16. I wouldn't go any higher than 18, like 19, and that's too big. So Kristen asks, weekend or evening options? Can't join Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. Right. Okay, Kristen, that's a great question, and we fully understand. So the classes will be released, during the day. You can go home in the evenings and watch them and make your bag. The Zoom meetings will all be the very first Zoom meeting is on a Saturday morning. And then the other 2 Zoom meetings will be in the evenings. They'll probably be at 7 o'clock, just like now. And it'll be on a Tuesday evening and a Monday evening, the following Monday. So those will be the only 2 weekday Zooms. They'll be, again, probably 7 o'clock, and then Saturday morning we'll have a Zoom. And that will be kind of the right after the introduction. We'll kind of talk about some things. Evelyn, how will I get notifications to register? So we have on our website, you go to the main page in the menu, you're going to see an events word, the word events. You want to click on that events, and then there's a little drop down that says upcoming events. Click on that. And it's going to have the class listed. You're not going to be able to see anything at this point. You're going to see it's there. You're going to see the date, so you can go ahead and check the calendar. But beyond that, you're not going to be able to see anything yet. As the week progresses and as time goes on, we're going to add a little bit more information. Some of the information I told you tonight, we just didn't want to put it on there until we had a chance to actually be here and talk to you and tell you about it. And then we're going to send out an email. We're going to send reminders in the Facebook group about signing up for the class on July 1st. and it will open at a specific time. It's not just going to be like, it'll probably be, I think we said 12 o'clock. Is that right?
Yes.
So it's just, yeah. Okay. 12 o'clock, meaning noon time. There you go. Starts at 12 o'clock Eastern time. July 1st is when it'll open. So if you're on the West Coast, that's what, 3 hours earlier?
Yeah.
9 o'clock. I wanted to make sure you were awake.
This was from Instagram.
Okay, so from Instagram, Dahlia asked, can I sew leather on my 790 Pro? So we looked that machine up because I think you asked that question beforehand, so we appreciate that. And it is a Bernina, I believe. And I used, like I said, a Bernina 5 something at the show, and I had no problem sewing with the leather. So I don't think you're going to have a problem, Dahlia, especially since we don't have those intersecting seams like we talked about. Okay. So Brenda asked, how many classes? Whoop,
oh, sorry.
Sorry, it went away. Brenda asked, how many classes will this project take? So there are 6 lessons altogether. The first lesson is just kind of an overview. We're going to talk about basically a little more depth of what we talked about tonight. And then we're going to have a Zoom meeting the next day. And then we're going to release the second video. And in the second video, we're going to go over cutting. We're going to go over cutting out the pattern itself. Don't jump the gun on that. We're going to go over cutting out the leather, cutting out the stiffeners, cutting out the lining. And in lesson 3, we're going to talk about gluing. So in lesson 3, we're going to glue everything that needs to be glued. Lesson 4 is going to be the exterior of the bag. Lesson 5 is going to be the lining. And then lesson 6 is assembly. How long is each class? Each video is under an hour. Is that correct? Yeah. Okay. Each video is under an hour because it's broken up into segments. Some are a little bit longer than the others. The introduction isn't an hour. It's less than that. But I believe that the gluing is pretty close to an hour because I really try to go over that well with you, try to give you some close-ups, give you close-up of the edge coating and edge painting as well, and really try to go through everything step by step and make sure you see what I'm doing. Deb, hardware included. Yes, all the hardware is included. Absolutely. You have one zipper for your zipper pocket, but the only thing that's not included for the hardware are the rivets. So if you, and I have, so there's 3 rivets on the interior slip pocket. I put, just to kind of hold it, you know, I like to put rivets just at the pressure points here. And then the only other place where there's a rivet is underneath the strap right here. We've got a little rivet between the D-ring and the roller buckle. Okay. None of those are absolutely necessary. You can do without them and you'll be just fine. But I think they make the bag just a little bit better. Can this also be a crossbody? That's a big question. It can be a crossbody. However, you are not in the kit. You're not going to have enough leather to make it a crossbody. The thing about leather is that you have to have a long enough hide to cut this strap. Okay. So for instance, when I cut this strap piece out on my leather hide, I actually had to kind of put it crooked, like diagonal across the hide, because I didn't have enough length in the hide. So to make it a crossbody, you'd have to piece sections of leather together. It would certainly be doable. You're just going to make sure that you're going to have to make sure you have enough leather to do it. So I would suggest after you run through this once, go ahead and change it up, make it your own. Do something, you know, maybe different with the little knots here, make the, you know, however you want to do it. If you want to add a zipper, you can, whatever you'd like to do. But, because there are a lot of options for this bag. This is a pretty simple, basic bag, but again, on purpose. Okay, what kind of glue? We are going to use Aquilum glue. It is a water-based glue, so you don't have to worry about snipping and, you know, feeling a little dizzy. I personally really like the barge cement, but we didn't send you barge. We just sent you Aquilum glue. in the kits. That's what we're going to do. And we're actually going to use a little bit different base coat than normal. It's a thinner base coat for when we paint, and I think you're going to like it. Roxanne, I'm very slow when I sew. Will this get me too behind in the classes? You don't. It is self-paced, Roxanne. So we're releasing them over a 10-day period because we want to try to give you a couple days in between to sew. But at the same time, if by the end of the class you're not done, it's okay. You have access to those videos all the time. You're always going to be able to log in and see them. So I would say that if you're, falling a little bit behind, no problem. We're going to have class discussions on the platform, and then we're going to have the Zoom meetings. Make sure you come and participate in the Zoom meetings. And then if you finish your bag, a couple weeks after we do, no problem. Don't stress out about it. Don't make it. I'd rather you take your time, enjoy the process, enjoy the bag, and then just stress out and try to keep up. The lessons are going to be there for the people who are, wanting to get it done quicker. And we didn't want it to drag out too long either. It's kind of a fine line. So it's self-paced. It really is. I have not checked, but what are the colorways and the kits? Okay, let's talk about those again. So we have this olive green, and the olive green has a suede band. It's really pretty. Okay. And then we have this brown color. And the brown color, you have two options for the band. You can do a suede, which we have here. Or you can do a hair on hide. So let me get that. This is the hair on hide option for the brown. So just you can kind of see these together. It's going to look really pretty. The hair on hide is so rich. Okay, and then we have black with a black hair on hide. So there's the black leather, and then you've got the hair on hide. Isn't it pretty? We also have, if you're feeling a little excitement in your life, you can do the hot pink. So this is the leather, and then we have the hair on hide. This is such a vibrant color. It's so pretty. I think you can kind of see it on here. It almost looks a little fluorescent, but it would be beautiful because, again, you just have that one band down the side, and it's not super in your face because you have the knot too, and it's very, very stunning. And then the last color we have is this light blue color. So here is the hide color, light blue, and then the hair on hide. Okay. So those are the colors we have. So we actually have olive, 2 browns, black, pink, and blue. So we have 6 different color options. So there we go. We got them running across the bottom of the screen. Okay, got it.
I think that's all the questions.
Okay. That's right. The link is not working yet. It says coming soon. On July 1st, it'll be turned on. And at that point, you will, and the way it's going to work is it's going to say pre-order, because until we turn the course on your given date, the way the system is, and sometimes we're limited to what our systems will do. It's going to, when you order it, it's going to say pre-order, only because you're not taking the class that day. you're taking it for an August date or a September date. Okay, but that's when it's going to open up, is that one July 1st. Okay. What kind of leather is included? So it is a lamb skin. These are lamb skin. Now the heron hide, I believe, well, I think this is goat. They call it something else in Italy, but I won't tell you what that was. It took me about, I was like, what? But I'm pretty sure this is a goat skin. And then of course the actual the genuine hide is the lamb. So pretty. And let me tell you, I've had those heron hides for over a year, and I've been holding them just for this class. I'm so excited. It's just taken a while for us to get here. So when and how do you pay? So on July 1st at noon Eastern time, it will open up. Basically, you'll be able to, at that point, pre-order one of the 3 class times. And again, those class times are Friday. They're always going to start on a Friday. So from Friday, July 26th to Monday, August 5th, that 10-day period. The second one is going to be from Friday, August 16th to Monday, August 26th. And then the third one is going to be from Friday, September 13th to Monday, September 23rd. Nothing in October because I'm already booked. November, yeah, the holidays, December holidays, and so we won't have anything then. But then we're going to resume these in January. And we just want to keep giving this class until everybody that wants to work with leather has an opportunity. So if you try to sign up for the class and you can't get in, don't worry, we're going to have more classes, okay? I don't want anybody to feel like they're not going to go or they're going to go without. We're going to make sure that you get in, and there's going to be 15 people per class. So right off the bat, we have 45 spots available, and then come 2025, again, we'll have more. Is there a group page that we can ask questions during the class? So there is a platform we're using for this class, and we will have group discussions in that platform. So it's not going to be a separate Facebook page. And I'll tell you why. Facebook, let's just say not everybody likes Facebook. And some people are not on Facebook. And so I don't want to exclude those people. So you're going to have you're going to go to our website. And then when you click on the link, it's actually going to kind of take you to a separate page, a separate website. And that's where it is. You're going to have a username and a password. And again, you'll be able to log in and you'll be able to see all your classes. So right now we will only have the Banda bag. But let's say next year we release, a different bag, the ABC bag or whatever it may be, and you want to partake in that, then whenever you log in, you'll be able to see both classes. So as many times as you take classes from us, those classes are going to be there. They're going to be available, so you can go back and rewatch videos. You'll have access to patterns, access to everything that happened in your class, all the discussion posts, all that will be right there in the platform for you to see. And then you can always ask me questions. I'm always here to help. All along. And again, the price is $350. And that includes the 6 pre-recorded sessions, the 3 live Zoom, and the class kit. And the class kit is, again, the leather, the pattern, the lining, the hardware, the glue, the applicators, the stiffeners, the base coat, the edge coat, the glue stick, silver marking pen, a small ruler, a little piece of sandpaper. So pretty much everything that you are going to need, for the most part. I mean, you need a sewing machine, you need thread, of course, but all of those leather type things that you're going to need, you're going to have. The things that we don't provide are the rotary cutter, the ruler, the mat, the sewing machines, the irons, double-sided tape, scotch tape, craft knife, you're going to need some poster board. We're not sending you that. You can go to the dollar store and get that. And all, sewing all, that kind of stuff. Scissors. So stuff you should probably already have. And then there's going to be a few things that we recommend that are not necessary, but we'll go over that once you get into class. Just a couple little things. Again, not necessary. You can make a beautiful bag without them. Will the Zoom be pre-recorded also? Yes, it will. So you will be able to go back and re-watch the Zoom meetings. So if for some reason you miss it, something comes up, or you just can't make that particular Zoom meeting, you can go back and re-watch it so that you can see what questions your fellow classmates have asked, and it might be a question that you have. So yes, absolutely. We're pretty excited about this platform we're using. It's it really does a lot. So I think it's going to be really good. I think you guys are going to like it. Very much so. All right. Taylor, did I miss anything?
I don't think so. If you did, that means it's because of me.
It has been a long time coming. We are so excited about it. I'm so excited to give you this opportunity because, again, every time I go to shows, I hear that people are very scared of leather, and there's no reason to be afraid of it. And we're going to make sure that you get comfortable with it, and you'll be good to go.
Oh, we have an Australian viewer.
Oh, Australia. Oh, so we are, the biggest problem we're going to have with Australia or anything outside the United States is just shipping. If you are interested, Caroline, to take the class, email me and we can kind of put together a kit and weigh it and see how much it weighs, and then let you know how much it's going to be to ship it, and you can kind of decide from there, because I know it's going to be probably a lot. But if you're willing to pay, we're willing to have you. I mean, we have no problem with that. As a matter of fact, we periodically ship to England. Where else have we shipped to?
Sweden or something?
If you're willing, we are all for it. And just side note, we are starting to, we have a distributor now that we've signed a contract with, and they're international. So hopefully you will start seeing some of our products in your local shops internationally. So if you have some local sewing shops, go to them and ask them if they can check with their distributor to see if they can get our products, because that would be great. If you can just go local and then you don't have to pay the shipping.
One more quick question.
How thick are the pieces? Do I need to make sure my HD can handle it? They are 2 ounces, which is about 8 millimeters, 0.8 millimeters. Very thin. Your HD9 should be fine. I'm assuming that's what you mean. You know me, HD9, you'll be okay. You will be fine. Yes. Okay. So if you think of any questions in the meantime, don't hesitate to email me. My email address is down there at the bottom of the screen, chris@simplyclassic.net. I will answer, of course, any questions that you have. We're super excited. We want everybody to be able to participate that wants to participate. We are here to get you comfortable with leather. And if that's it, until next time, everybody, happy sewing.